Thank you for joining us for another episode of Phoenix's Rising, the Ballroom Chronicles. This is where we get to know the girls who perform, do their thing on the floor. Today we have Miss
Mhm.
Deija Paragon, my
Hey.
love. This is my baby sister. Honestly, like we came through at the what like the
Yeah,
same exact time.
literally the exact same time.
Like you went one way to Paragon, I went with the Majestics, and honestly, I love her down no matter what, and that's what Ballroom's all about. So we're gonna jump into who she is and what her experiences are as a femme queen and a person in general, as well as her skills and knowledge within dancing and voguing and
Hmm.
everything in between, and what she's got going on. Deja, thank you for joining
Thanks for
us.
having me.
Absolutely. Um, can you just introduce yourself to the audience and share a little bit about your journey into the ballroom scene?
Hmm. Yes. Hey, y'all. I'm Deija Paragon. I am a femme queen in the Arizona ballroom scene, and I've been out for like what, like 2 years now, maybe a
Two
little
years.
over,
I think
something
we're
like
going
that.
on 2.5 years now
Yeah, just
because we
about.
just passed December when we both like started prospecting for our
That's true,
houses.
huh? That's very
hmm
true.
So what first drew you to ballroom culture? And how has it
Mhm.
shaped your identity and creative expression?
Yeah, like ever since I was a little kid, I used to watch ballroom clips. Like
Mm.
when I was young, I was like 13, 14,
Oh.
and I would just remember my little iPad tablet thing, and I would just be watching. There was one clip where it was like someone like Sailor Moon and someone dressed as like Wonder Woman were
Mm-hmm.
battling. I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm talking about, but that was like the first clip I ever saw,
Okay.
and like that's what drew me to ballroom. And then as I like over time I got older and like I found it.
So you found it a lot younger than what I even found it at, because so you've
Hmm.
been interested.
Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
yeah, for a while.
Well, how did you go about like finding the community here in Phoenix, and like who
Yeah.
introduced you to like ballroom out here?
I had to find it for myself. Like I remember I was watching these clips and I was like, I really need to see what this is. Like I really want to be a part of it. There was so much like it was like the creativity that was attracting me. It was like the way the people looked, the fashion they had, like the mentality. So I just literally Googled like bow classes near me on, on my phone and I found Paragon.
Hmm.
I found like because back like way back when there was like classes like every week, like every
Like
Monday.
sessions.
Yeah, it was like a
Okay.
class like slash session thing, and I found it. They posted it, so I just pulled up, and
Oh,
then I
okay.
just like low key never stopped coming.
And so then they brought you out to like Vogue nights and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Oh,
From there they showed me where everything was at.
I did not know that, girl.
Hmm.
I fucking found it on a fucking TikTok ad. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's
oh,
cool.
we got ballroom out here. I was
Hmm.
just like, shit. Let me pop out.
I know. I didn't expect it to be out here.
It honestly, it was so small. It
Yeah.
was so small when it started out, and I was just that's why it took me so long to figure out that we had a space like that out here
Hmm.
for us. And honestly, the way that it's growing and the way that it's going right now, it's a beautiful thing to
Yeah.
watch.
Really.
Let's talk about your incredible win.
Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
At the Pokemon Crystal Kiki Ball, right?
Hmm.
Absolutely. Honestly, in Denver, it's a whole different scene out there, isn't it?
Very much so. Yeah.
How did you prepare for that performance and like getting the grand prize, and like tell us how that
Hmm.
felt. Like how did you get mentally ready for that?
Yeah. For that, like the thing that carried me for that ball was I had a point to prove. Like I told myself in the beginning, I'm going here because my grand prize is on the table waiting for me. That coin is waiting for me. So I'm just gonna go come through and pick it up.
Okay.
Like that's literally what I told myself.
All right.
And I was like, I know how to vogue, I know what to do, so just go do it.
And I'm sure you were like sessioning
Yes,
hard before then,
I
because
was.
baby, when I seen your clips for that,
Hmm.
Miss Deja, I was screaming. I was like, yes, she
Girl,
came through like
yes.
the girl. Like,
Hmm.
I came here to play with you guys. You can't
Very
land
much
these
so.
soft cunty dips and on time.
Once you tap in, like you just lose yourself in the beat. I don't even know what I was doing until I watched it back.
How did it feel taking home grand prize?
It felt really good. That was like what one of my that's like my second grand prize that
Mm-hmm.
I had. And I felt like seen, like I felt like all my hard work that I've been doing, everything that I've been like trying hard at working at, like has been paying off.
Trial and error,
Yeah.
practice, practice,
Like I feel like
practice.
I'm bearing the fruits of my labor right now.
Very much so, honestly, and it
Yeah.
shows. Like since I've watched you first start out voguing to now, there's just a
Mhm.
stark difference. Like
Yeah.
it's your journey is so beautiful to watch, and that's why I was really happy that you joined us here today. Because I was like, we need to get her story. We need to follow this girl because she's honestly one of the it girls rising here in Phoenix, and that's why this is what it's called. As someone who's walked in multiple categories, including realness, how do you prepare for such distinct challenges in the ballroom scene?
Honestly, you just gotta stay ready. Like this is ballroom. Anything could happen. Anything could change. Like the energy. You don't know how it's gonna be. Who you're gonna go up against. So you
Hmm.
just gotta mentally prepare yourself. Whatever happens, I'm gonna rise above to it.
And how do you prepare for like when the girls are real aggressive and they're just like in your
Yeah.
face, just saying like, "Oh, look at her," and then look at me. Like, how do
Right.
you mentally prepare or emotionally even prepare yourself for
Yeah.
something like that?
Honestly, that's a hard one. I'm not gonna lie, but to me, just don't even engage because how kind does it look when I'm just and she's yelling in my ear and I'm sitting here. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
just real kind,
yeah, like
just
you
real
really,
woman like,
yeah, you can't
because
get me. Like, this is my little cunt bubble that you can't come into because you don't got it.
it's hard when they come for your womanhood. Because
Yeah.
me as a sex siren or a former sex siren, it was hard. You'd see the other boys and you'd be like, well, I don't look like that. And they'd be
Yeah.
getting their votes. And it's like,
Yes.
okay, well, let me just go starve myself for the next month. No tea, no
Yeah.
shade
No tea,
to
no
the girls
shade.
who do. Okay. And how would you describe the energy and atmosphere performing in ballroom competitions? Is there a particular moment that stands out as especially meaningful to you?
Yeah, the to me the atmosphere is very high energy. It's very creative energy, and it's like a rush. Like I get the biggest rush out of ballroom. So it just makes you like it just like fuels you up. You go in there and you can't help but to just be in it. You know what I mean? Like once
Yeah.
you get in there, it just fills you up and you're just excited. You just
Like you
wanna,
said, once you lock in, you're
yeah,
just like, baby, I'm here. I'm Deja.
right.
I'm Deja Paragon.
Once you're locked in, you're locked in.
And is there any especially like really meaningful moment that's
Yeah.
happened in ballroom?
I think for me, the thing that everything always goes back to is my debut at the Desert Diamond Ball. That like that to me was like the moment because that was at that point I was already prospecting, and I just had gotten in the house maybe like a couple of months before that, and I was sessioning really hard. Like I'm talking, it was like boot camp. And once I debuted and I was able to get my tens, like that really is all I wanted. I just wanted to know that I could get my tens.
And baby, you got them
Yeah.
that night. I
Yes.
remember that debut. That debut
Mhm.
was
It was
amazing.
like for the couple months that I had under my belt, I got my tens and I won a battle. And then my second battle, I lost it, but that was farther than I ever thought I could get in my debut.
And talking about meaningful moments, let's go back to how you traveled to Denver and
Hmm.
LA, especially LA, because I feel like LA is so different
Yeah.
for all these ballroom events that go on. Like I feel like there's a different culture, a different bubble, like because each one
Hmm.
has a different vibe. How do the ballroom communities in the two cities that you've been to compare, and how have you these experiences shaped you?
Yeah. They honestly, so when I went to Denver this last time, it feels like there they have like the girls come out for a runway there. I feel like Denver's a runway state. For that
You know
category,
what?
yeah, you see it?
Yeah.
For that category, the girls were like out. That probably was the longest category of the whole night. And it was some really fab walks. It was all American, it was European. They had trans men doing it. Like everybody was taking part in that category.
And see, that's so different because in LA you have a few, and
Hmm.
then you have like barely any here in
Yeah.
Phoenix. So it's like to see a runway city. That's so. I want to go out to Denver,
Hmm.
and they do have some runway girls because the two that come out here for the last Vogue nights,
Yes.
baby,
Yeah.
runway boots. I was like,
Boots.
where the fuck are these girls coming from, Milan?
Yeah,
Like,
they literally look like they're walking fashion week. Like their walks are fab out there.
fab as fuck.
So fab. And like with LA, I feel like LA is more like production. Like that's like Hollywood. Everyone there has their outfits
Glitz and
up, glitz and glam
glamour.
to the tens, everything. Yeah.
Hmm. And I feel like they're more like a performance heavy city too,
Yes.
kind of like New York is.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, I've never been to New York, but you see them like they line the fuck up. And how do you get ready for a lineup like that? Because sometimes they have you go back to back
Yeah,
to back to back.
they
They're like, baby,
do.
you still gotta go. How
Yes.
do you prepare for that?
Honestly, like I have to tell myself this is what I do. I have an alter ego.
Okay.
When y'all see me Vogue, that's Simone. That's Simone Paragon.
Oh,
Yes,
oh, she's two bitches.
that's
Simone,
Simone.
welcome, welcome, Simone.
Hey, I'm all, hey girl.
Ooh.
No, but I literally stand in the back and I just start, feeling it, doing your hands, whatever, bouncing to the beat, like getting the beat into you. So then when you're ready to go, you could just ride it. And I literally tell myself, like, Simone, you ready, girl? Like, we're gonna tag team this, me and you together. Like, you
Okay,
know,
she's a tag team, bitch.
we're
Deja, you got
right.
Deja, and then you got Simone. You
You
got two
do.
bitches
You
to
got
battle.
two. And when one doesn't come through, the other one comes above.
Okay, they're jumping you.
Yeah.
They're jumping you.
Good job.
How do you prepare for the stamina though? Like to go back to back? Like, is it
Yeah.
just like exercise? Are you in the gym doing heavy cardio?
One thing that we always did was stamina training.
Mm.
So like when we would like train, it was always like we would go 3 battles back to back. Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh no,
And like we did a lot of that, and over time that's what got
no.
my stamina up. And then I try to walk a lot, be active as much as I can, but honestly I don't really go to the gym like that. I just
Oh,
practice.
see, and she's got better cardio than I do, and I go to the gym every day. 30 minutes of cardio, I'm tagged out, and that's not even going that fast.
Yeah, no shade. Cardio's crazy.
That's fucking crazy. Because the battles alone are at least like fucking 5 minutes long each. So that's like
Hmm.
15 minutes of just
Yeah,
back to back.
back to
I've
back.
tried and you've seen my Vogue. I've tried. Like, I'm
Hmm.
like, bitch, I got barely tens in me. The
Girl, bye. You got it. You got
no,
it.
I could never make it past two battles back to back. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's it like stepping onto the floor in a new city with new faces? Does it change your approach or a performance? And how do you connect with the
Hmm.
crowds out there?
Yeah, honestly, it's so fun. Like when you really think about it, and you go to a new state or city, they don't know who you are. So you have the opportunity to bring it however you want to bring it. Like you can do anything that you usually do back home is going to be fab because they don't know anything. So I take that as opportunity to really just like tap in. I like the moves. You know how we all have moves in our mind that we do. At that
Like
point,
signature moves.
yeah, at that point, that's when I think about those and think, what kind of variant can I do to this move? Like
Mm.
maybe if I usually just do a regular, just a little dip, maybe this time I can fan my legs and make it cuter. Maybe I
Okay,
can like do a cute little wave while I'm coming out.
that
Like
is
you
cute.
saw my LSS in Colorado,
Hmm.
like I came out Ikea and I was like, hey y'all,
She
like
sure did.
feeling it.
Like she knew them girls. I was like, does she know
Yes,
that? She's
girl, I didn't
like,
know
I don't know
nobody in there.
nobody. Not a bitch of nobody.
I knew my sister there because my Paragon sister Jasmine is out there,
Oh, that's right.
so I
Yes.
knew her, but I don't know nobody else. But yeah, you just gotta tap into it.
Talking about family, um, how has your house Paragon and
Mm,
everybody like how do they all support you like when you travel out of these cities?
yeah, a lot. For that ball, the Denver ball, I would session. They would session with me. They would help me get together, get my like performance together, and critique what I needed to like fix in my performance. And they helped me with my effects. Like I would show them what I was thinking. They would help fine tune it.
Mm.
And also when I went to the ball, they were all in the live stream, and they were all
Oh,
watching. Yeah,
cheering you
they
on
were
and
cheering
shit
me
in the
on.
comments.
Like after my tens, they were like, "That was fab, sister."
P
Like,
A
okay,
R
yes.
A.
And
Okay.
when I tell you, shout out to my sister Bambi because I love her down. Every time I walked, like after I walked my tens, literally I sit down, my phone rings, and there's my clip. Same thing for my battle. There's my clip. She
She's
was
on
just
it.
recording right there, everything, and I had all my clips before the function was even over.
Work. Y'all
So,
be vicious about them
girl,
clips.
yes. But no, I felt like my whole house was there, even though it was just me and one other person. Like, and she was on the panel. So although like we were together, like we weren't able to interact as much. So
Mm.
like with everyone still tuning in
Yeah.
and like messaging me, like I felt very like backed by my house.
It'd be hard talking to your family when they're on the panel. It's
Yes,
like they'll send you maybe a text saying, "Can you grab me a water,
right,
bitch?"
for real.
I've been trying to talk to you all night.
Yes, give me a drink. This is what I want.
Let's talk about your transitioning journey, if you'd like
Yeah,
to a little bit.
of
As a
course.
femme queen, how has ballroom provided a space for you to explore and celebrate your identity?
Yeah, for me, like ballroom was the thing that allowed me to transition. Like ever
Mm.
since I was like a teenager, I knew who I was, but I couldn't do it because of my environment or I didn't really know any other queer people. So when I came into ballroom and I saw trans people was just an everyday thing, like nobody really cared. We were celebrated, we were uplifted. And I just felt like it was a safe place for me to do that, to start that journey, and I'm glad I did it there.
That's beautiful. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that. Honestly,
Mhm.
because you hear about the struggles that you guys go through on a day-to-day basis. Like,
Yeah.
so I can't understand it completely, but I can at least empathize with it.
Yeah.
It's been a beautiful journey watching you grow into the woman that you are
Thank
today.
you.
What challenges have you faced in the ballroom scene, and how have you overcome them as a femme queen?
Girl.
I know it's a lot.
I feel like being a femme queen in ballroom, the biggest thing that I dealt with was like the image that you have to portray as a femme queen. Like you have to, when you go to a ball, you got to be makeup down, outfit down, body tee, in a heel, you know, everything laid, everything together. And like when you're first starting out, I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't even know what my sense of style was, how I wanted to dress, you know, how I wanted to be perceived. I was still figuring that out. And so having to like feel like I had to come somewhere put together with this grandiose sense of, you know, who I am. Like I was still figuring that out. And so
Hmm.
that to me was really hard to do. But as the femme queen does, you know, we rise above.
You guys rise above,
Yes.
grow into it, and then it
Hmm.
exceeds
Right.
expectations.
Like I had to just embrace it. Like, okay, what about this am I struggling with? Let's address it. It's a lot of journaling to figure out
Mm,
like where do I line up? And once I put that together, things just fell into place.
that that sounds like quite the journey,
Hmm.
mentally, emotionally,
Yeah.
all of it. So I'm glad to hear that you've been making it through. Um, I think like being a femme queen, like does this influence your confidence and identity outside of ballroom and like
Hmm.
within your actual personal life?
Yeah, 100%. Like for me, like the way that I carry myself is like directly from ballroom. Like when I'm walking down the street, I have your shoulders back, your head up, you're pumping down the road. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like it's that confidence that I carry with me all throughout that keeps me safe day to day. That keeps like attracts people to me as well. You know, like I don't know, it's just like that ballroom mentality. I try to keep it in the back of my mind. You know.
that's good because like I heard that from other people as well that like their ballroom identity, even it be it like a butch queen, like they'll be like, yeah, it influences my
Mhm.
day to day. Like
Yeah.
I feel like being that girl today. I'll be that girl today. I'm just pumped through the office.
Exactly that.
Like so,
My coworkers are like, "You're walking like a model down these halls," and I'm like, "Girl, yeah, don't don't
you're
you
like,
know?
don't ever play with it, and I am,
Don't play with
and
it."
am.
Okay, I'm like, "Look, I need to figure this walk out. So this is the only time I got to practice. So much fun."
Do you feel there are any areas where the ballroom scene can grow in terms of supporting femme queens, and how do you see yourself contributing to that growth?
Yes.
Because I see you
Um.
as one of the biggest femme queen leaders out here in
Mhm.
Arizona, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to be. Because I feel like the scene does a good job at embracing femme queens. I think that there is a good job at like protecting the femme queens and
Mm,
like there's that
absolutely.
support for femme queens. But what I don't see that I want to add is support from within like femme queens to each other. You know what I mean? Like you see femme queens together, that's always like, oh, like this and this, picking each other apart. Somebody's mad because you've been mowing out longer, or because you like this, or you're like that, or you can do your makeup a certain way, or whatever. Like it's just a lot of bickering.
Instead of attacking one's looks, let's better the
Yeah,
personalities and
like
better each other as a community.
let's pour into each other. Like, why don't I tell you like how we got to this point? Like, why don't I teach you how to dress or how to find yourself? You know what I mean? Like, why don't I help you with your moan shot if you're too scared to inject for the first time? Like, it
Hmm.
needs to be like that. Like,
Grow and teach.
yeah, and not just within your house. Like, I feel like that happens with people who are in the same house or like friends, but it doesn't happen within the whole community. You know, like if you see a new femme queen, you don't always get approached by another femme queen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
so that's what I would like to see. Like just embracing the femme queens as soon as they come into the door.
that's a beautiful message to send out there to the community, and I think we
Hmm.
need more of that because I do feel like when it does come down to categories like realness, like back in the day, they never even used to open their mouth.
Mm-mm.
It would just speak for itself. And to be honest, like you don't need to attack one's looks or character or anything like that
Yeah.
to win the battle. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. just a little bit, maybe
Yeah.
not all of it, because I am a butch queen. So, um, and how has your experience as a femme queen evolved over the years? And what advice would you give to younger femme queens just entering the scene?
Yeah, I feel like my sense of like confidence and security as a femqueen has evolved. Like in the very beginning, I felt very like I was very on edge. I felt very scared to just present as a femqueen, especially as a black femqueen. You know, there's like
It's a
there's a
different
lot of
struggle. It's a
yeah.
whole other
There's
struggle.
so many things about each side. Like if you're just a black person or just a femme queen, you already have those issues. But imagine them together. Like it just amplifies. And so, but I felt like now I've been moaning out for like 2 years. I started moaning out like right when I got into ballroom. So it's like even.
Yeah,
But
I've watched you. I'm like,
yeah,
girl, she's a
girl,
whole
yes,
other woman
a
now.
whole new girl. But I just feel comfortable. I feel secure. I feel confident in my identity, who I am, and I'm proud to be a femme queen. Honestly.
That's good. What advice would you give to the younger femme queens just entering the scene? What would you tell them? Like a younger you,
Hmm.
what would you tell yourself back when you?
I would say to just do it. Literally, like you just gotta start. You just gotta get into it. And when you start to tap into your authentic self, you'll see how people who are like you will come to you. And like by you coming out there being brave enough to be who you are and being the femme queen that you are, that's when you'll attract
You
your
attract,
house. That's when you
yes,
attract your friend. That's when you attract your grand prize, you know?
manifestation,
That's when
baby.
it all comes together. And it just starts with authenticity.
Authenticity. And let's
Yeah.
talk about some authenticity. What are some misconceptions people might have about femme queens in ballroom, and how do you work to challenge or educate around those ideas?
I feel like more in like mainstream, I feel like people kind of paint femme queens as kind of like negatively. Like I've seen some people who are like talking down about femme queens or saying they're this or they're that. But when you really talk to femme queens, I've met some of these femme queens. Like when you really talk to them, they're the sweetest people ever. Like so willing to help, so loving. And I think a lot of femme queens just feel kind of shut off
Mm-hmm.
because of those misconceptions. But really like um, people like Sexy Lexi. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, see how sweet she is. People like Asia,
like that
Leomi.
nurturing
Yeah,
energy.
they're also
Yeah.
nurturing, and I feel like people don't always see that because all you see is just pow, 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 or like
Or what you guys put out on the
reading.
floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like people don't see the full picture about what a femme queen really is.
And I think that's another beautiful message to send out there too, because especially with like a lot of butch queens saying like, "Oh, she's a bitch because she's on hormones and stuff like that." I
Hmm.
feel like that's inappropriate to say
Yeah,
because it's like, well, you act like a bitch and you don't even moan.
right.
So,
What's your excuse?
so there's a lot of misconceptions that I feel like there are about femme queens that I've heard, and I have my own viewpoints where I'm like, that's wrong
Hmm.
to think. And of course, I always try and educate where I can,
Right.
but I can't speak from an experience that I don't live. But it's beautiful from hearing it from you, someone
Hmm.
that's on this journey. Are there any specific mentors or role models within the ballroom scene who have inspired you in your journey as a femme queen?
Yes, a lot of 90s femme queens I look up to. Like one of my two biggest ones, Yolanda, that's my mother. I always say that's my mother down. No shade. I love that lady. Like just her whole story from her life was very difficult. Like she was in jail. I think she was in like the foster system. Like she really struggled through life, but she came out and she was the it girl. She was the happy girl. She was fab in performance, like she was the girl that everybody admired that I
Mm.
really like about that. And same thing with Octavia St. Laurent. That's my second. That lady has wisdom down. Like if you watch her videos of just her talking, she just talks about her life and like just the things that she thinks about and other people's experiences and just like knowledge. And I don't know, I feel like I just learned a lot just by watching her videos and her clips.
Watching videos and clips, I think that's how a lot of like the kids learn from the old school mentors that are
Hmm.
probably either not with us any longer, or even if they are still with us, it's still beautiful to watch their journey when they first
Yeah,
came out and they weren't like that it girl that they are today.
right.
Because like you see Leomi's journey, you see Giselle's journey. You see every girl's journey, and every girl's
Mm-hmm.
journey is different, and it's beautiful. It is a beautiful thing to watch, and that's
Yes.
why I want to capture these moments with you guys and make sure you guys get to tell your story before you guys, because I know Phoenix is going to get big. I know you are
Without a
gonna
doubt.
you're gonna go places like,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna be on stages. They're gonna be on runways. They're gonna be on different areas that we never thought of them to be, and I want to make sure you guys have that
Yeah.
chance to tell your guys' story. And of course I'm gonna be keeping up with you guys, so
Please
I'll,
do.
I'll be chasing y'all down. I'll be like, bro, being in a house is such an important part of ballroom culture. Can you tell us about the house you're a part of and how it became your chosen family, Paragon?
Yes. So yeah, I'm the Kiki House of Paragon, and honestly, like I was saying before, how I just started going to the sessions and the classes and stuff. I felt like very like drawn to Paragon because everybody was so open and so like willing to help me. Like before I was voguing, I never really danced. Like I would do a little like cha cha slide. You know what I'm talking about? Like those little line dances. And I remember like I always loved watching videos of people dancing, but I never personally did it. So I just didn't know how to do anything. And they were so willing to like literally like, okay, no, move your hip up. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
I'll get on your dip, back arch, push my back up, pull your leg up, like literally.
Turning you into a pretzel.
Yes, like literally got me together in so many different ways. And just that alone to me just meant a lot that they even didn't really even know me, but cared enough to
To
help,
mold
to
you
mold
and
me.
help you
Yeah,
along your journey
right.
of learning to dance. So you definitely created that bond with them
Hmm.
heavy. So that's what made you
Yeah.
more willing to go with them. And plus, I believe Majestic was already kind of like a brand new house around that time.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Honestly,
I'm just gonna go with the
yeah.
girls that just molded me and brought me together
Right.
and shit.
I didn't really even know about Majestic either because when I first was becoming like a Paragon, Majestics hadn't debuted yet. I remember the Vogue night when y'all debuted.
Oh, I didn't debut. Yeah, but I do know the debut that you're talking
Yes.
about. I was there. That was I believe my second Vogue night there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was my second Vogue night, and
Yeah.
then I watched them, and I was like, oh.
I was gagging. I think I have a video of it on my phone.
I didn't even know who they were. I was
Me
like,
either.
okay, why?
Okay. It's like,
So I was just kind of interested because I was like, what drawed you towards Paragon and maybe not Majestic? But it's
mhm.
I've never no shade when you don't
Yeah.
pick a house. Like it's because you still love the people down. Like
Right.
me, I went to Majestic, so I was able to be like, that's still my sister. I don't give a fuck. Like
Okay.
I'm still gonna go up for her. Y'all gonna
Yeah.
be mad when I'm chanting Paragon.
That's how it should be, honestly.
What advice would you give to someone new to the scene who's looking to find their place within a house?
Hmm. I would say to be very like picky with who you want to join. I would say to observe, make sure that that's like the vibe you want because each house has a different energy. Like there's some houses that are performance houses, some houses that are fashion runway houses, like some houses that are sex siren. Like so think about your journey. What do you want out of
And that's
ballroom?
yeah, that's very true. Cause
Yeah.
like you should definitely take your time. Cause like you said,
Hmm.
performance heavy, sex siren heavy, face
Yeah.
heavy.
Right.
I've seen some face heavy houses,
Hmm.
but definitely I think for me it's like take your time because you don't know these people. And
Right.
at the end of the day, you're all adults. Like, you don't know what certain people's intentions are, or like
Hmm.
what the vibe's giving, or like, because I'll speak on a little bit of experience for myself. Like, I I do wish I would have taken my time and gotten to know everybody within the scene
Hmm.
and as a double O, because sometimes some things transpire and some things go down, and like
Right.
it's just you don't start vibing the same way, and it's just
Right.
weird.
I
So
get that. Like, cause for me, like, I knew Paragon. I was around the house for a couple of months before I was even a prospect.
hmm
And then when I prospected for it was like a month. So I had like 4 or 5 months around them before I even got into the house. And I think that was perfect because I knew exactly who I was with. I knew exactly what the house could do for me, what I could bring to the house. Like it was very clear expectations and like clear like path for like everybody. And so I don't. I felt really good about my decision, taking my time.
and I think Paragon has like a good variety of girls, like
Yes.
because you guys have girls that are runway and performance and like What else? What
We
do I
have
feel is
realness
happening?
now
You
too.
guys have realness now. Don't play with it. No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
so sorry.
Realness.
Yes, realness boots,
Yes.
but there's two realness girls too because there's
Mhm.
the drags realness Bambi, no?
Yes. Yeah, my sister Bambi, she's drags realness. And then she also walks face too from time to time.
Oh
So
yes,
yeah.
she walked for the Valentine's one in
Yes.
Tucson, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was a moment. She made a big moment.
She did. She
Gonna have
did.
to touch with her on that
No,
because that
yeah.
was a moment. No
Mm-hmm.
shade. Um, and I just want to backtrack a little bit. It's no shade to Majestic. It's never been no shade. I'm just speaking on my own experiences from here. What do you hope to achieve next in your ballroom career, especially within the growing scene here in Phoenix? Are there any specific categories or events you're excited to explore or master here?
Yeah, I definitely see myself throwing events. Like right now, I've been throwing sessions,
Yeah,
and those have been like the coolest thing ever. Like so many new girls have come out, girls I've never seen before, girls that just want to Vogue and don't even like didn't know where to start. And like the sessions are kind of turning into like me teaching, basically.
workshops.
Yeah, like because last on I had one just the other day, there was only like three people who Vogued. Everyone else was like, "This is my first time." And so I was like, okay, well, you're not going to understand what I have planned if you've never booked before. So I'm like, that's fine. Let's just break it down. And
Right.
so I took a moment to go over all the elements before the class, and it challenged me, but in like all the best ways. And I learned that like it's actually kind of fun. Like I felt really proud of after I showed them, they were literally doing it. Like it didn't take long, and they were literally catwalking. They had their hands, like they were doing everything, hitting their dips. Like it just felt good that I was able to like get like share something so important to me and so like close to me, and they were receiving it so well. And so that's something that I definitely want to tap into. I want to grow that, and I want to do more like community based things too.
No, and it's been cute to watch because I see your
Yeah.
guys' clips from your Vogue sessions, and it's honestly like no pressure. Like it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, I'm working with a legend or an icon. Like because sometimes you want to impress them, and it's just like, no, this is just chill. We're
Right.
just gonna lay it all out on the floor, and if you need
Mhm.
help, then I'm gonna teach you. So it's been beautiful to watch them, and then some of them have even came out to Vogue nights
Yeah.
and like started stepping out on the floor. I was like, who are
Yes.
all these girls?
Girl, yes.
Wait, you look kind of familiar. I've seen you from a clip.
Yes.
So let's talk about the events. What kind of events are we talking? Are we talking about kiki balls? Are we talking about Vogue
Mhm.
nights, like
I
Vogue sessions?
I definitely want to throw like a kiki ball, but that's going to be down the line. I think right now, like I really want to do like a cute little lounge, something OTA, something easy to do. You know,
Okay,
yeah, everyone just come in as you are and just do you. You
yeah,
know,
that's cute. And
yeah,
honestly, that's how you build more community. That's how
right,
you keep the girls coming out consistently. Because
yeah,
sometimes the girls just want to vogue. They just want to have
yeah,
fun for the night and key.
right.
So I get that, and I'm glad that you're stepping up to the plate to be doing
Hmm.
something like that here in Phoenix. Because
Yeah,
I've been saying we need more events. We need more
we
people
do.
doing more action. And that's why I said you're definitely
Yeah.
one of the leading femme queens here that are doing
Hmm.
things here in Phoenix that are positive for the whole community.
All right.
And how do you see the ballroom community evolving in Phoenix? What opportunities or challenges do you think the city presents for performers and
Hmm.
houses and just everyone here in general?
I think the scene has evolved in ways that the people that were here when it started, we've kind of all developed our craft, and we're traveling, we're getting the Arizona's name out there, and we've put Arizona on the map. And now because of that, people noticing us. Like Precious came down here,
Mm-hmm.
Deshawn has come down here. Like the girls know who we are, and like we're a part of Ballroom now. And I think because we have that like spotlight on us, that gives us opportunities alone. But also people don't realize that Arizona is up and coming, like not just ballroom, like arts and culture in general. There's a big scene developing, and there's like grants out there. There's so many opportunities. Like me just coming out to Vogue nights, I got to perform at Phoenix College on a stage on like this big huge stage with these graphics and lights and everything. Though we
Wow.
got to do that. Like I've gone to like Social Survival Club. They had like a pride event. I performed there.
Yeah, I've
Like
seen that one. I
yeah.
see some of these clips that you're doing, and
Mhm.
honestly, that's why I'm saying she's going places. She's out here doing these
Mhm.
events, and
Yeah.
honestly, to speak on Phoenix in general, like the arts community, like you said, and the dance community,
Yeah.
it is growing. It is getting, it's flourishing right now.
It
There's so much
is.
opportunity for everybody to just come and start putting on these big events outside of Ballroom.
Right. And that's the cool thing about ballroom is because it prepares you for other things. Like now, like ballroom is always my home, but I've been stepping into like freestyle battles, going up
Oh,
against like crumpers and poppers and like all of that. And just getting to vogue against them, it's a whole new energy. It's a whole different beat. You start doing different things with your performance. The energy makes you move different because the energy is different and it's still a good energy. It's just a different one than ballroom.
no, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's why some people say if you're not a true voguer, if you can't vogue to beats outside of a ballroom
Mm-hmm.
beat,
Wake
like,
that
and
up.
okay,
Wake
because
that up.
wake it up, baby, because I can vogue to just about anything. If I want to vogue to
Yeah.
reggaeton,
There
baby,
you
I'm
go.
a vogue to
Do you
reggaeton.
see the clips they be putting like from 90s Femme Queen clips and they put like Brazilian funk over it? Like
Yeah,
on TikTok?
yep,
Just like
yeah.
that.
I've seen those. I've seen them like go break it down, and I'm like,
Yes,
oh baby, this actually
it
eats. Let
does.
me go to SoundCloud real quick. Brazilian funk. What role do you hope to play in shaping and uplifting the ballroom scene in Phoenix? Are there any I know we've talked a little bit about the projects and
Hmm.
but are there any collaborations outside of the events that you're thinking of doing? Like,
Hmm.
are you going to be collabing with anybody? Are you going to be collabing with Deshaun next? Like,
Hmm. We're gonna do
like
that.
what's in store for you?
Right now, I don't have any collaborations lined up, but I have a lot of like events. I have a lot of ideas of things that I want to do. Like I've been doing the sessions. I have something coming up in March for like community building. Like I'm putting on like this clothing exchange.
Oh,
Yeah, like I just feel like it's fun stuff. Like just out like to kind of make it more fun, to break it up. We're not always here just to compete. Like we actually could be friends too. Why don't we just bring our stuff together and like, oh here girl, this will look cute on you. Take it. Here, oh this is cute on me. You know what I
be
mean?
an
Like,
actual community.
yeah, like I think that's my goal is to really just bring us together through different events like that, coupled with like voguing events.
Look at
You know?
you.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful to hear because I think we need more community being community, especially in the
Yeah.
times that we are in now. Like
Mhm.
we all need each other. Like
We
these
do.
next 4 years are gonna be rough. So
Boots.
honestly, it's all about like she said earlier, we need to start protecting our motherfucking family queens. So
Okay.
I'm glad to hear that you're doing so much community work. And lastly, I just want to ask, what legacy do you hope to leave within the Phoenix
Mhm.
ballroom community, and how do you want to inspire future generations of performers
Yeah.
in this space?
Honestly, what I want to do is I want to leave my mark on this scene,
Okay.
and I want to be one of the matriarchs in ballroom. Like I want people to know who I am and like understand that like if somebody like me who has all the odds against them were able to figure out how to vogue, step into other categories, transition, put on these events, you know what I mean? Like do all these different things that I want people to look at me and think that they could do it too.
Now let me ask, do you want to be an icon, legend, star, or statement?
I already am an up and coming legend.
Bitch,
Girl.
I was about to say,
I'm
what?
just kidding. No,
When are you getting
I'm
deemed?
just I'm just manifesting right now. But no, yes, I definitely do see myself being a legend.
Oh,
Hmm. Arizona's legends.
you hear that? She's gonna be up and coming. You
Hmm.
better watch for her.
Watch out.
Deja, I want to thank you so much for coming here today. Thank you for sharing your story, your
Hmm.
journey. We'll be sure to keep up with Miss Deja. See us next time for another episode of Phoenix is Rising. I do promise that there will be more videos coming up soon.